What does it truly take to go from zero to $1 billion? In a world that often showcases the glamorous endpoint of success, the private jets, the sprawling mansions, the global influence, it's easy to overlook the grit, the struggle, and the relentless determination that paved the way. We see the finish line, but we rarely witness the grueling race that preceded it. The path from nothing to a net worth with 9 zeros is littered with obstacles, failures, and moments of profound doubt. Yet for a select few, these challenges became the very fuel for their ascent. Today, we're not just celebrating wealth. We're uncovering the untold stories of 3 iconic entrepreneurs who turned unimaginable hardship into world-changing empires. These aren't tales of privilege or luck. They are raw, powerful testaments to the human spirit's capacity to overcome, innovate, and ultimately triumph against all odds. We'll journey back to the humble beginnings of a media mogul, a tech revolutionary, and a coffee visionary to understand the DNA of their success. Our first story begins in the deep poverty of rural Mississippi, a world away from the global stage she would one day command. Oprah Winfrey's early life was marked by adversity that would have broken most. Yet within her was an unquenchable thirst for something more. Her journey began not in a boardroom, but in the local newsrooms of Nashville and Baltimore, where her authentic voice and unparalleled ability to connect with people began to shine. This wasn't a pre-paved road to success. She faced sexism and racism, constantly told she was the wrong fit. But she channeled that rejection into resolve, eventually launching the Oprah Winfrey Show, a platform that transformed daytime television, built a media empire, and made her one of the most influential figures on the planet. From the heartland of America, we traveled to the cold landscapes of Soviet-era Ukraine, the birthplace of Jan Koum. Escaping political instability, he and his mother immigrated to California with next to nothing. The American dream felt distant as they stood in line for food stamps, and he swept floors at a grocery store to help make ends meet. This experience with scarcity, however, planted a seed. He taught himself computer networking from manuals bought at a used bookstore and landed a job at Yahoo. It was his frustration with missing phone calls that sparked an idea, a simple, reliable messaging app. He and his co-founder Brian Acton created WhatsApp, a service built on the principle of no ads, no games, no gimmicks. Years later, Facebook acquired their creation for a staggering $19 billion, turning the immigrant who once relied on government assistance into a Silicon Valley billionaire. Our final journey takes us to the gritty housing projects of Brooklyn, where a young Howard Schultz witnessed his father's struggles. After losing his job as a truck driver, his father was left broken with no health insurance or severance. This painful memory ignited in Schultz a desire to build a different kind of company, one that valued its employees as much as its profits. A trip to Milan, Italy, later in his life, provided the vision. He was captivated by the romance of Italian coffee bars, the sense of community they fostered. He saw the potential to bring that experience to America. He returned to a small Seattle coffee shop called Starbucks and pitched his grand vision, but the original owners weren't interested. Undeterred, he started his own coffee houses, eventually returning to buy Starbucks and transform it from a handful of stores into the global phenomenon we know today, a third place between home and work for millions. What can we learn from Oprah, Koum, and Schultz? Their paths, though different, are woven together with common threads. First is a profound resilience, the ability to face devastating setbacks and not just survive, but emerge stronger. Second is the unwavering power of a clear, compelling vision. They didn't just want to build a business, they wanted to change the world in their own unique way. And finally, they all possessed the sheer courage to take monumental risks, betting on themselves when no one else would. Their stories remind us that empires aren't built on spreadsheets alone. They are forged in the fires of adversity. The American dream is not a myth, but it is far from easy. It demands more than just a good idea. It demands a spirit that refuses to be broken. The journey from zero to a billion is a testament to the fact that your starting point does not define your destiny. It's a challenge, a dare, and an open invitation. So the question isn't just what they did, but what you will do. What's your billion-dollar idea?